Yes guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is JayRuss and I do car reviews, car content, and yeah, we'll progress from there. But I'm very new to this YouTube stuff, and today's video is my brother-in-law's Ford Focus ST line Vignale. Don't know how to pronounce it, so don't accuse me in the comments. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And yeah, let's get into it and let's do a quick review on this car. All right, so let's start with the facts about this car. So it's a Ford Focus 1 litre EcoBoost ST line Vignale. Again, I'm not sure about the pronunciation on that last word. It's 153 brake horsepower, 240 Newton meters of torque, 0 to 60 in just over 8 seconds. If I'm not mistaken, but that would be most likely in sport mode, because if you're in eco mode, you're probably not going to get that, as we'll maybe see it later on in the video. But yeah, it's a 2002 model year, and with this, cool. So with this particular trim line, so this car, so with the Vignale, it has the chrome decal here, which you get in this trim level. You don't get them in the other trim levels for this model year. So yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot about Ford Focuses. I do actually like them from afar, like especially the ST or the RS, the Ford Focus RSs. But yeah, this one's got the full Ford LED lighting. So you've got the daytime running lights here, and then you've got your main beam and high beams. Yeah, I like the front end of this car. It's got that sporty look, but yet it still looks like a daily car or like a family car. It can be a family car. But yeah, it's got obviously the more aggressive, sportier look. So you've got this nice front grille. Some of it's blanked out here. You've got the sensors and stuff there. But yeah, man, I like the front of the car. It's actually got a nice presence to it, especially the way that the bonnet's got its creases in there, so it does look, you know, sporty and everything. But yeah, I really like it. When I see them out on the roads, I'm thinking, yeah, I would have one if, like, you know, if money was no option and I could collect cars. This something like a Ford Focus, probably the RS, let's be honest, but they are nice looking cars, I think. Definitely this sort of model year, this design language that they've gone for that model year. I'm probably going to use this word a lot, but it's I believe it's kind of a timeless design. So like in 10 years time, it won't look too outdated. Whereas with some cars, you do find like you can tell that car's 10 years old. You know what I mean? So as we come around to the side profile, again, it's still got that sporty look. It does swoop ever so slightly down here. You've got the roof spoiler as well. I do like the red caliper options that the brother-in-law has got on these. And yeah, man, I think these are, oh, nearly fell over. I think these are quite nice tires, or alloys design. So you've got your 18-inch alloys with the red calipers on there, steel brakes. And you've got the nice ST line badging, just to make sure you know that it is an ST line and not a standard Focus. Yeah, overall design, I like it. Obviously, black surrounds around the door. You've got the privacy glass at the rear. And yeah, the overall side profile of the car is nice. You've got the creases in the doors and everything like that. And it all just flows nicely. You know what I mean? Very nice. And again, the red calipers on the back, it's an 18s all round, front and back on that. So I think from the back, yeah, it's nice. You've got the twin exhaust at the back and the headlight design. So it has obviously it's a newer version of the traditional Ford Focus look. I think they could have gone a bit more sporty looking, or maybe if they Yeah, maybe if they went one exhaust either side, I think that would have looked better rather than two on one side. But overall, I like the whole overall design language of the car. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10, just for where it is in terms of price point. So this car from new, from the research that the information that I could find, from new, this car for this particular spec was around 27 grand, without options. And then once you start optioning it, you probably add in maybe 1 to 2k on top of that if you went all out with everything. But from standard for this particular trim level, it's fine. But yeah, 27 grand is not too bad for a car that looks the part. It might not be the most powerful car, but it can still do a decent job when you need it to. And it's a 5-door, so you can have it as a family car if you needed to. But for, you know, a single person or people with no kids, then yeah, this car's perfect. So yeah, so we're just gonna have a quick look at the boot space, because it'd be interesting to see how big it is for a hatchback. So yeah, decent size. I wouldn't complain with this sort of boot size, because I used to have a Corsa, Vauxhall Corsa, and I felt like that boot was tiny. Obviously, it is a smaller car than this anyway, granted, but it was just a car that I hated doing the the grocery shops in that car, because it was just like, if I have to do a big shop, it was a struggle. Like I'd fill this up, and then I'd have to put the rest of the shopping in the front seat and stuff like that. But yeah, this is perfect space. You'll definitely be able to do your weekly shopping there. You've got, well, what would be a spare tire, but space saver here. So you've got a little bit of under storage here as well. And you've got is that through loading as well. And you can obviously put the seats down and you have more space anyway. So yeah, I think this is a decent size boot space. Yeah, man, I like the overall design. So we're gonna hop inside, because one, it's cold out here, and yeah, we're just gonna quickly go through the interior and see what I think about it there. Like I said, I don't know too much about the Fords in general, so this is kind of like, these videos are going to be me reviewing the car, and sometimes for some of the cars it's going to be first time that I've seen them. Obviously I'll do a little bit of research and find out a little bit about what they have inside, or you know, just the power performance information. But yeah, a lot of the time I'm going to be going into these cars and just kind of like finding out what these cars are about, take it for a little drive up and down the road just to see what it feels like in terms of power and handling. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, let's go inside and let's check out what it looks like on in there. Cool. We've hopped inside, and yeah, man, it's a nice vibe in here. So where shall I start? Let's just start with the steering wheel. Yeah, man, it's at a good height. Obviously you can adjust it and everything like that, but yeah, I think it's like you've got a good view out of this car. You don't have too much of a blind spot with the pillars and stuff, but because I found, like, if you watch my other video, then you will know that I've got an XC90 and the pillar here is quite thick, or a little bit bigger than this. So sometimes on certain big bends it can be a bit of a blind spot, and you're kind of like looking like this around the corner. But yeah, man, this is nice. I like the steering wheel. It's got the little gear pedals if you wanted to switch it into manual. So this is a 7-speed auto. And so yeah, you can flip it into semi-automatic and do the manual yourself if you want to. It's got sports mode, so we've got the features here. So if we go to features on the screen, I'll just so you can make sure you see that. So the features here on the main screen, it's very quick and responsive as well. So I do like this screen. So we're in normal mode at the moment. You've got eco, so that's if you want to be really slow from your 0 to 60. You're not doing it in 8 seconds. You're doing it in like 12, 15 seconds. But sports mode is where you definitely want to be doing the manual gears, and then you just flip it into manual there, and then you've got the gears and you can do that yourself. But obviously it won't let me go up because we're currently in drive. So yeah, but I'll put that back in park. and handbrake on. Make sure we don't go anywhere. But yeah, very nice setup on here. You've got your cruise controls, you've got your volume controls, pick up and answer the phone, all of these sort of things here. I can see you've got the auto lights. I mean, to be fair, it's the standard stuff that you get in newer cars. Obviously, if I was looking at, if I was reviewing an older car, some of these features obviously may not be there. But yeah, it's got all the sort of standard things that you'd want in a somewhat newer car. I think anything from like 2017 onwards, you kind of want for like an upper trim level car to have the basics like auto lights, auto windscreen if it's available, heated seats, which this has, and at the moment it's keeping me warm in this cold. And you've got the heated screens, and you've got the touchscreen display and digital displays, all those modern quirks that you kind of look for nowadays in these cars, and it kind of expect to have a standard. But yeah, man, this just we'll move on to the infotainment screen. So I've had a quick look around. Just on the standard screen, it's like I said, it's very responsive, it's very quick, but you're gonna use Apple CarPlay and you're gonna switch to all of these sort of stuff. And then you've got your Google Maps, your Spotify, and things like that, and other features. But yeah, you can do what you want. You can have it set up how you like. You can minimize it down. You can make it a bit more full screen. You've got climate controls are all here. I'm not the biggest fan of climate controls being in the digital screen. I didn't actually touch on this in my last review in the 90, but again, it's sometimes it can be a bit fiddly because you're like, it's not doing it, and then you end up pressing it too much or whatever. Especially when you're driving, like, you know, the EU and whatnot are doing this whole safety things, like emissions and all these sort of safety features that have to be in cars from standard when they're brand new. But I just feel like having these on a screen where you have to actually look, because sometimes you can't just guess where you put in your hand, you have to look, so you're taking your eyes off the road. But if it was a physical button, knob, twisty, whatever, you kind of know after a while, your muscle memory, you know where things are, and you can just kind of grab for it and twist and whatever. I mean, the volume, they still keep the volume though, but everything else was all packed into the screens. But yeah, man, this is a nice car, nice cockpit. It's got, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera because it is daytime, so got a bit of ambient lighting in the footwell, which is quite nice, a quite nice touch. And yeah, man, I think this is a nice car. You got a bit of like carbon effect trim as well. My brother-in-law still got the plastic on. He's preserving it, bro. The resale value, isn't it? The resale value. Yeah, man, it's a nice space. I like it. It's got storage. You've got, you know, your cup holders. And can you move them? Yeah, you can move them. So if you need something that is, you've got a bigger cup or a bigger bottle, you can move it and adjust it. And you've got some storage under here, little tray. That's quite handy. I like little quirks like that when cars have these little trays. And yeah, man, this is nice. I don't really want to get out because the heated seats keeping me warm, bro. But yeah, I'm gonna hop into the back quickly and just give you my initial thoughts on the back seats. Cool. So now I'm chilling in the back. Now, I have sat in the back before. Did a trip to Brum with the boys, and it was actually not too bad. I was kind of worried because, you know, like when you go from a bigger car to a smaller car or saloon or hatchback, you're kind of worried about the back space, especially if you're on the taller size or above average height. So I've got quite long legs. I think I'm sort of a long legs, shorter body kind of person. I don't know. I might just be waffling. But yeah, sometimes I find that in certain cars, I'm like, yo, there's no space. You need to move your seat forward, especially if someone has their comfortable position, usually for the front seats. I find that they always have to just adjust it slightly. But I I have moved the seat forward just so it could be a little bit more comfortable for filming. But even with the seat in the actual driving position for my brother-in-law, yeah, it's fine. You can do long journeys in it. You won't suffer. Yeah, it's nice back here. There isn't dual climates or anything like that as far as I can see. It's got 12-volt socket, and you've got some door nets and some storage areas at the back here. Electric windows at the back. Yeah, overall it's a standard back rear seat for a hatchback, really. Like I said, I wouldn't complain sitting back here. You've got Isofix as well in the seats, so you can put child seats in the back. So when brother-in-law blesses me with a nephew or niece, then he can definitely he can definitely put the car seats in here if he wishes to. And if he didn't want to look at upgrading to, I guess, like an SUV, like most people do want to get when they have kids, for the space. But yeah, man, it's a nice car. There's no pan roof, so it is like a darker feel in here. But yeah, I mean, it does what it does, you know. Especially if you're not a car person, this car will do the job A to B. Be quite, and imagine a fairly efficient car. And yeah, it does the job. I like it. If I didn't have kids and I wanted to get something else different, so as you know, or if you don't know, I have a Mercedes C-Class, which is a 3-door, which I'm going to be getting rid of because I've got one child and I've got another one on the way, and it's just not going to work. So yeah, if this was, I'd say this is something I would consider if it was in my price point. This particular car is not in my price point because I've got my company car, which is an XC90. So I had to choose one or the other to be like the more expensive car, the luxury car. So yeah, it's a nice daily, I would say. Definitely be a nice daily. And for me, if I was to have this car, this would be, I'd guess, perfect in a sense. It is a 5-door, so I could easily get the kids in and out of the back. So you could literally have it for best of both, or cater to more people. It's perfect for someone who's single or in a relationship but don't have any kids. And then if you do have kids and this is not your main car, then this would be fine, because the odd time that you do need to cart the kids around in this car, it will do the job. Maybe if this was your main car, it might over time become a bit cramped, because as the kids get older, they might have more luggage. In fact, even when they're babies, they have a lot of stuff that you have to carry with them, especially if you're going on holiday and stuff like that. And car seats can be quite bulky, especially with all the safety regulations that are in place now. But yeah, man, I think the car is really nice, and I certainly would have it. I give it an overall, I gave it 7 out of 10 for looks. I gave it a 6 out of 10 for interior, just overall. There are some really good bits, but I think overall the car's a solid 7. I have no complaints with it, and I believe my brother-in-law doesn't have any complaints with it. Does the job, gets him to A to B, where he needs to go. And yeah, I think what we'll do now is, because it's a little bit harder to do, well, we might be able to do it, but if he doesn't want to be on camera, that's fine. But brother-in-law's behind the camera. We're gonna do a quick Q&A, just a few quick questions, asking him about the car and how he's finding it, because he's had it from new. So that's a good 2 years now, nearly, that he's had the car. So yeah, we'll get into that, and then I think we'll call it wraps. Couple drive-bys, and then that's it. All right, so it's getting colder. I feel like it's getting colder, and yeah, brother-in-law didn't want to be on camera. He wants to stay anonymous and mysterious, the no face, no case kind of guy. Yeah, no. So we're just gonna do some quick fire Q&A. So yeah, brother-in-law's got a mic as well, and yeah, we're just gonna do some random questions. Nothing pre-planned in that sense, like really thought out. It's just ask him a few questions about the car and just see how yeah, we'll just go from there really. But yeah, so first question. I'm probably gonna start with this first question for everybody that I do interviews with, on the reviews on their car. Would you call yourself a petrol head, yes or no?
No.
No. All right,
No.
cool. So, with that being said, though, what would you say is your dream car? Money is not an issue.
Money is not an issue. I'll go for the Lamborghini Urus Mansory. Mansory.
Yeah. Okay. What would do Mansory do a kit for them? I can't even remember.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because you've got Mansory, you've got Urban do a kit. I'm sure there's loads of other ones, but in terms of mainstream names, but yeah, okay. Urus. I mean, if you haven't seen my shorts or my TikTok, you will see that brother-in-law hired one for his wedding. We pulled up in style, and that was an experience. Like, my XC90 is no slouch for 455 brake, but that Lamborghini Urus, which is over 600 brake horsepower, yeah, it's night and day, man. That was an experience. So yeah, I thank the brother-in-law again for bringing me in on that one. It's definitely a bucket list moment. So yeah, next question. What's the car like efficient wise? Do you feel like it's quite efficient on petrol? Do you think it's a dream car? What's it like?
I think as it's a 1 litre, the petrol tank fills up 55, 60 pounds.
That's good, yeah.
Which is not bad. And it does last. It definitely does last. The petrol. Obviously, I don't do a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
So my trips are quite short.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I see it does last longer.
How often do you reckon you refuel? If you like an average month, twice a month?
Yeah, twice a month.
Yeah.
I have gone times when I've only filled it once.
Yeah.
But yeah, twice a month on general trips.
Yeah. And then if you were to do like, okay, we got family up north. So if you were to go up north from here, from Oxford, what was it saying? Full tank, the round trip, or half a tank, quarter tank?
Full tank, just under a full tank.
Yeah. Which is not bad, I guess.
I think actually, do you know what? I think you can do it even on half a tank.
It just depends how fast you're going, how efficient you are. Yeah.
I think you can do it on half a tank.
Okay. What do you get out of it? What do you get from a full tank? Like, in terms of, what does the mileage read when you fill it up on average?
Good question.
Even if you can't remember, just guess.
I don't think I can remember.
Like 250 probably? 250?
Something like that.
Yeah?
Something like that.
Okay, that's cool. What made you go for this car?
I think I had a Focus before.
Yeah.
2015 plate.
Yeah.
Which I actually really liked. And also I wanted an upgrade.
Yeah.
And I wanted something that looks more sporty, quicker.
Yeah.
And I'm a guy, I like alloys.
Yeah.
And if the alloys look good,
yeah,
then you've got me.
Yeah. 100%. That's me.
The alloys look good.
Yeah, no, they do.
So I was like, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm quite easy with cars. Like, I'm an A to B. I guess looking good is also not too bad if it looks good. But A to B does the job.
Yeah.
That's me.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair enough. I'm the same. Yeah. If a car looks overall decent, but then it's got wicked alloys or something like that, I'm sold, man. Because, like, obviously you get some cars, like the basic trim levels tend to have like hubcaps, or they don't have like alloy wheels like that, diamond cut wheels and stuff like that. That definitely puts me off a car. I'm like, why am I paying all this money for a big car and it doesn't even have nice alloys? Like, it's got to fully look the part, the whole package. So yeah, I fully get it. Obviously, I touched on the facts about the car. It is a 1 litre EcoBoost. What do you feel like on when you're joining the motorway or dual carriageway, would you feel like the acceleration is like? Do you feel like it is enough for what it is, or would you kind of? I know you're not a car guy, but would you crave a little bit more for a bit more power?
Well, yeah, obviously having experienced something like a JayRuss, the power on that is crazy compared to my car.
Yeah.
But I said, like, if I was coming onto a motorway, I come on with a bit of speed anyway.
Yeah.
To prepare myself to get onto the motorway.
Yeah.
And it does have some kickback.
Yeah.
Even without it being on sport mode.
Yeah.
It does shift.
Yeah. No, definitely. Because I've driven it, and I will do some drive-bys afterwards as well. But even just like maneuvering it around this car park, and I've moved it around, you can feel the little kick that it has. I definitely believe, like I was saying to my dad, when he's looking at buying a car, and he was like, oh, you know, I want at least a 2-liter engine, you know, for the power and the performance delivery. I was like, trust me, Dad, like, especially if you get a newer car, like, they don't have to be a big 2-liter engine. You can get a 1-liter, and it can be nippy, and it can deliver a good enough amount of performance that you need. Because let's be honest, unless you're a petrol head and you're someone that's really into cars, and you crave the performance and the adrenaline rush, you don't need that much power. You just need enough that you feel like you can keep up with traffic and the flow of traffic, joining the motorway, joining the dual carriageway and stuff like that. Yeah, man, these cars with the smaller engine these days do a lot. I mean, look, when I always kind of use it as a reference point, like when Mercedes brought out the A45 with a 2-liter engine that's packing out over 400 brake horsepower, that was a little bit unheard of when they first released that car. It was like, what? A 2-liter engine, 4-cylinder, putting out that much power. So it's definitely possible with the smaller engines nowadays. But then it just takes away from having those nice big V8s or whatever. But yeah, man, I don't think I have any other questions. We'll keep it short and sweet. We're losing a lot of light now. It's not quite springtime yet. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. We're gonna now cut away to the drive-bys or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, call it a day and go get some food because I'm hungry and I'm cold. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And yeah, we'll see you next time in the next one. God bless. And again, Happy New Year.